When Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast in August 2005, a frantic rescue effort began to save thousands of human victims. But many had to make hard choices about their four-legged friends.
This has been probably the best example of the impact of the human-animal bond on people's willingness to evacuate and on their mental health in dealing with this disaster.
In the largest pet rescue operation in U.S. history, more than 1,000 veterinarians, veterinary technicians, animal control officers, and animal group volunteers joined forces to rescue and provide aid to more than 10,000 animals.
I will never forget how a trauma, a disaster such as this, brings out the best in people.
Heroics at sometimes. There were New Orleans veterinarians that were going in the second and third day rescuing animals out of clinics in New Orleans that they knew about.
I was amazed by how many people went above and beyond what I could have ever imagined to help these animals.
We got requests from all 50 states from people who wanted who pleaded to come down.
I mean, there's a couple of...
Our goal each day was to go into the floodwaters, go to the addresses that we had listed from owners, pet owners.
Animal rescue team!
Hello, is anybody in here? You know, knocking on doors, listening for dogs or cats, breaking doors in if they needed to. There was a home with some dogs on a back porch, pretty emaciated, pretty skinny, very dehydrated. We had to get them out of there because they were confined to a really tiny back porch. We were wading in about, probably waist deep water. They were wagging their tails, what little tails they had, and still barking, and we offered them some milk bones that we would carry with us, and they snarfed those down as fast as they could. House was just devastated. You could tell that the flood waters had gone at least halfway up the wall.
And the cattle are upstairs.
They were very scared, very emaciated, very skinny, but again, they acted like, thank you for getting us out of here.
What caught us by surprise at every step was the magnitude of the response that was needed every step of the way.
There were shelters in St. Bernard Parish on the local level where veterinarians literally crawled back in and opened up a space to take in animals and to treat them as best they could.
We got there at 10 o'clock that morning and we were told it's opening at noon. There were about 5 of us there and 15 carriers. And then the next day there were probably 200 cats.
We felt like we were in the middle of a war.
When you're standing in the middle of the arena looking out at 400 dogs and they each need individual attention. I mean, these are dogs that 2 days before were sitting on the sofa with their owners and now they're in a cage in the middle of the arena. They need somebody to be nice to them.
And you cannot imagine how many veterinarians and veterinary technicians from throughout North America, including Canada, but all over the United States, who offered to come in for a week or two at a time. And this saved us. Early on, it became very apparent that there was this huge wave of displacement was occurring from New Orleans that was going to go throughout the country, totally throughout the country. And we were catching the first crest of the wave as it left the state.
The buses rolled in with a dog and a cat in almost every seat, and everybody was cheering and crying at the same time.
We were running a shelter, okay? We were running an animal shelter for essentially animals that were owned by people, and the owners brought the animals into the shelter.
Having people hand over their animals to you and telling you that, all I have left in this world is what I'm wearing in this animal. And all you can think is, this is a huge responsibility. I better make sure I take care of this right.
We were able to keep those animals healthy and reunite over 90% of them with their owners.
FEMA and the federal government now have a better understanding of the importance of pets in people's lives, and they will not force people to abandon their pets when they're evacuating them.
And that's our greatest hope, is that this type of shelter is not ever needed again.
people who didn't want to leave because their pets were at in the house. People saw pets, skinny pets which would not have survived. And I think people were touched by these experiences and these pictures, and they really rise to the occasion. Everybody came, everybody helped in one way or the other.
The American Veterinary Medical Association has been involved in disaster preparedness and response for 13 years, and this is the first time that all 4 VMETs were needed. We are very proud of the efforts of the entire veterinary profession. We look forward to incorporating the lessons learned so that we may be better prepared to respond in the future.
In the wake of disaster, the urgent plea of thousands of pets was answered in countless acts of heroism. The veterinary community had its proudest hour as the impossible became possible.
Oh, good boy.
I've been a veterinarian for 36 years, and this has to be the most incredible experience that I've ever had in terms of overall assistance to the animals.
Everybody just wanted to help.
To see the response, it makes you very proud to be a veterinarian. Very much so.
Working at the shelter was the first time somebody called me doctor, and I didn't even realize they were talking to me. They had to call me about 4 times.
They went from students to colleagues in that 2 weeks.
I mean, I was truly amazed when I saw board-certified surgeons cleaning litter boxes. I mean, the response was just amazing. They were needed, and they were there to do whatever it was that they were needed to do.
Even though there were tremendous challenges and obstacles, people rose to the occasion.
There was a lot to be sad about, but there was a lot to be really thankful for, too.
I've seen some of the most horrible things that I never, ever wanted to see. But in all of that madness and chaos, I just am, the feeling in your heart to see how we responded to this just makes you so proud to be part of it.